Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, I'm going to share with you something that I'm observing based on what the market is doing today and we've been seeing lately on the news, kind of previewing what the new trend on AMC stock might actually lead us to in the next few weeks. All right. So, starting off with today, you can see that we have almost green everywhere, even though intraday markets are a little bit pulling back from the intraday high. AMC at some point we're over $16 a share, and now it's been rolling about 15.76. But it's really interesting because if you look at the main indexes, this is the Nasdaq, for example. The Nasdaq at some point was up what? Let's just look. 2 and 7%. 2 at some point even 3% on the day. I mean 3% for the Nasdaq on a day like this with interest rates not even going down. It means that literally people are buying the dip. For example, if you look at Robinhood stock today literally gained 11% on news on what? Cathie Wood buying, scooping shares. And this is not the only example. You can see AMD, you can see Netflix, you can see Apple based on the blowing earnings that they reported last week. I mean, the Dow Jones here, you can see that we have something looking like a pretty shape recovery. You can see here, and slowly going back down. Going back up. Now, on the news of Robinhood, for example, and this is just an example, all right? You have Bill Ackman. This is a billionaire, managing money on Wall Street, and Cathie Wood as well, billionaire managing money on Wall Street. They lead the charge back into tech stocks as the sell-off attracts the deep buyers. Nothing really changed when it comes to what the Fed is going to do in March. As I mentioned, interest rate, last time I checked, didn't go significantly down to explain the green we're having now on the markets. So what happened? People just starting buying the dip. So when you look at news like this, for example, Spider-Man leads box office again, racking up historic numbers. This literally means again that, the story that the short sellers were using, the narrative that they were using in order to short the stock in January of last year doesn't make sense anymore. It's gone to the trash because weekend after weekend after weekend, 7-week run up, the movie is still pumping up money and burning new records. Why? Because even though holiday season is now off, it's not Christmas anymore, we are at the end of January, people are still interested to going back to movie theaters. And there are a bunch of very interesting blockbusters coming later this year. All right. But is it a coincidence that we are having companies like this, Goldman Sachs, Allspring Global Investments, increasing significantly higher their position in AMC stock? Do you see what I'm seeing here? First off, you have these guys. If they were in my shoes, or if I were in their shoes, I will look at Robinhood, for example. Robinhood on the last at the highs of the stock price, currently is losing more than 80%, 85%. Let's just say it's kind of the same thing with AMC. It's round around 75% market cap down. So what is happening? Well, what is happening is people are seeing, okay, if this used to go to $72 or $85 a share, and right now it's sitting below 15, it doesn't make that much sense because 2022 is going to be very, very tricky in terms of making gains on investments into the stock market. Not that it's going to go up, but just that it's not going to be as crazy as it used to be in 2021 because right now, especially what the Fed is about to do, it's going to be a little more difficult to make a lot of money on stocks. So if you look at AMC, for example, based on what everybody knows is coming and is at stake here, it is a no-brainer. Is it a no-brainer that, hey, if you want to make a lot of money, maybe right now is the time to buy the dip? And I'm expecting this to continue when the markets recover because remember what? AMC is also a heavily weighted stock into the Russell 2000 or IWM. So Just saying that I wouldn't be surprised if this recovery continued to push the share price higher and higher as the deep buyers coming from the street itself continue to happen. We just have to wait and see. That's all.